Yo, what is good, everybody? Hope each and every one of you guys are doing well. If you guys are new to my channel, welcome. My name is Noah, and I help people awaken to their true abilities through wellness and spirituality, aka Noah's Ark. And so excited to be back on here for you guys because I wanted to make a video that I think is going to go out to a lot of people who are in relationships. And even if you're not in a relationship, this will apply to you because in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the truth about relationships and why a lot of them, don't work, right? Now, when we talk about, relationships and being in one, there's a lot of commitment. There's a lot of sacrifice. There's a lot of things that need to be in alignment before you actually get into a relationship, right? Now, what do I mean by that? A lot of people who are in relationships right now aren't ready to be in one. They aren't ready to be in a long-term serious relationship. Now, why is this? Why aren't a lot of people ready to be in a long-term relationship? It's because it needs a lot of work. There needs to be a lot of work that you do on yourself, right? A lot of the times whenever people want to be in relationships, they don't think about the amount of work that they need to go through, in order for them to be in a healthy relationship, right? Because in order to be in a healthy relationship and in order to be ready to be in a relationship, you need to be ready. You need to have the self-love required in order to be in a relationship, right? A lot of people who look for relationships are looking for love, right? They're looking for validation and security that they don't have within themselves, right? They don't give themselves that self-love. They don't give themselves that validation that is required in order to be in a relationship, right? So what oftentimes happens is a lot of people will enter relationships where they are looking for love, they're looking for security, and this person the person who they end up in a relationship with actually begins to resent them, right? Because they are in a relationship, this first person is in a relationship for looking for love, and they understand, and this partner understands that, they can't give it to them, right? They can't give them everything that they need. And why is that? Why can't that person provide the love that this person's looking for? It's because this person needs to acquire and develop the self-love within themselves, right? People who are in a relationship or people who are looking to be in a relationship understand that you need to develop a lot of a relationship with yourself before you enter one. Because there is a lot of inner work that needs to be done before you actually get into a relationship. And not a lot of people realize that, right? It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of inner work. It takes a lot of self-love. You need to develop a relationship with yourself, and that requires you to become a little bit introspective and understand kind of where some of your flaws are, understand what things are you lacking, what I mean? What are some of the qualities that you look for in a partner, right? These are things that we need to validate within ourselves first so that we understand what we want and what we need in a relationship. The universe only gives us what we need. It doesn't necessarily give us all the time what we want. And this is an important key thing that we need to understand whenever we are looking to enter a relationship or if we already are in one, right? We need to develop a relationship with ourselves. We need to start having self-love and start validating ourselves and start being secure within our own selves, right? Because whenever we enter a relationship and we don't have that beautiful relationship with ourselves, it manifests in a toxic relationship sometimes. It manifests in a relationship that isn't necessarily as healthy as it could be, right? That's why you need to start developing a beautiful relationship with yourself, and it's one of the reasons why I say being single is very, very underrated nowadays, right? Being single is where you are taking that time off for yourself, and you're really starting to develop a loving relationship with yourself. Start praising yourself for how wonderful you are, right? Just for being here, you have purpose and you have love, right? There is love out there for you just for being here. And we need to start understanding that we need to love ourselves before we actually are ready to enter a relationship. Once we start to love ourselves, and once we start accepting our flaws, and we start developing a beautiful relationship with ourselves where it involves self-love, that's when we're actually going to be ready to enter a relationship of love. You know, we're no longer seeking the love that we want, because the love that we want is already within, right? And because of that, this creates a beautiful, harmonious relationship. Now, that doesn't mean that the relationship's gonna not have any ups and downs, right? This is just the natural ebbs and flow of a relationship. You're gonna have times that you disagree with your partner. You're gonna have times where you argue. You're gonna have times where it's not pleasant, right? But that is the beautiful thing about a relationship, is that there's always ebbs and flows. And I wanna make this video for you guys out there who might be in a relationship or who might be looking to be in a relationship, and understand that you need to take your time with it. You know, it's not something that is going to fix all your problems, right? That love that you're looking for can be accessed from within, right? That validation that you crave, that beautiful, loving relationship is something that you can develop on your own. And it's something that we need to develop on our own in order to become ready to be in a relationship, right? And so I wanted to just kind of come on here to help you guys with understand why, you know, relationships a lot of the times don't work, and why a lot more of you guys should probably consider being single, right? And not to disrespect the partner that you have or anything like that, but, you know, you have to ask yourself the question, what was the purpose of being in a relationship in the first place? You know, was it because you found this harmonious person who you really have a love for and you really have a desire for him? Or was it in order to seek out love, you know, that you don't have within yourself? Or was it to be in a companionship with another person? Because I think a lot of people will take suffering in a relationship, suffering in a partnership, over being single, right? So a lot of us need to not only incorporate self-love within ourselves, but we also need to incorporate, outside of developing a beautiful relationship with yourself, you also need to develop you need to understand that not every single relationship is going to be the same, right? There's going to be different types of relationships. And we need to understand, there was something that I was going to say that I kind of like lost my track on, but it related to developing a relationship with yourself, and just understanding that, you know, it might be better for you to hold off on being in a relationship, right? You need to be able to be okay with being by yourself. That's what I was going to say. You not only need to develop a loving relationship with yourself, but you need to be okay with being by yourself. You know, being in your own space, being in your own, just space, right? Being in your own space, feeling comfortable with yourself is going to help tremendously whenever we want to look for a partner, and whenever we want to actually take action and go into a relationship, because this is going to create a lot more of a healthy relationship in general, because we already have healthy awareness of ourselves, and we already understand what our needs are. We understand the relationship that we have by ourselves, and we also are comfortable being by ourselves. You know, a lot of people try to jump into relationships just because they're lonely, you know, and they crave that loneliness to go away by being with somebody else, but they're trying to fill a void, right? This is why they're always going to feel lonely, right? Because you have to feel comfortable being alone and being by yourself first before you actually are ready to be in a relationship. So loneliness is something that we need to learn to be comfortable with, because, you know, being alone and struggling with loneliness are two different things, right? It's healthy to be alone, but, you know, being lonely is a feeling of that you're not satisfied, right? That you're not comfortable being by yourself, right? So you need to develop that relationship with yourself as well as get comfortable being by yourself. Start learning. This is how we start learning about ourselves. And we can actually create a beautiful relationship with ourselves when we start to learn about ourselves, because we're aware of what we like, what we don't like. And this ultimately helps us become and enter into a healthy and beautiful relationship. So I really hope that this video helped you guys out. I wanted to talk to you guys about the truth about relationships and why a lot of you guys should probably be single. Very unfiltered. I like to make these truth series. You know, I forgot to say this at the beginning, but the Truth About series are just my opinion. So if you don't agree with me during any point in this video, that's 100% okay. You know, I don't expect you to agree with me necessarily. If you do, great. If you don't, that's also great. Let me know your opinions down in the comment section about this specific topic, because I'd be curious to hear about what you guys think about it. And if you have any recommendations for future videos that you want your boy to post, make sure to comment them down in the description box below. With all that being said, my friends, have a wonderful afternoon, morning, or night wherever you're at. And peace, love, and happiness. Mwah.